What's up, backpackers? It's Thor coming at you with my big four. That was catchy. What's up, backpackers? Thanks for clicking on that video. Today we're going to cover my big four, and we're going to start in the order that I think you should buy your big four. First off, my shelter. As you can see, I've gone with the Big Agnes Copper Spur HV UL3. This tent has been incredible. The reason that I went with the 3-person version over the 1 or the 2 is because I've got 2 kiddos that as they start getting older, I'm gonna take them out into the backcountry to experience it with me. Let's get into some of the features of this tent and some of the specs. As you can see, this tent has its own pole structure. This means that it's freestanding. Now, with this tent, I can pick it up with ease and I can move it somewhere else if I find a better spot. Big Agnes has created an amazing pole system that maximizes your headroom inside the tent, gives you more livable space inside the tent. Now, let's talk about dimensions. It is 90 inches long, it's 70 inches at the foot end, 70 inches at the head end, and 62 at the foot end. So it does have a taper. So the shape of the tent is gonna start here at 70 and taper down to 62. This means you could fit 2 wide pads or 3 regular 20-inch pads. There's almost too much storage space in this tent. There's a huge gear loft here with corner pockets on each side of the tent as well. There are also multiple tie-out points inside this tent. You can create a clothing line to dry wet gear. Now, as you can see, another reason I went with this tent is because there's 2 vestibules and 2 entrances, causing you to not have to fumble over your partner when you're backpacking, and gives you a lot of room to have your gear out in the vestibule. This tent comes in at 3 pounds 7 ounces, which is unreal for a 3-person shelter. Big Agnes does an amazing job at creating an affordable tent with tons of livable space at a crazy light weight. Let's talk the second piece of gear in my big four. It is my sleeping quilt. The quilt that I chose with after extensive amounts of research was the UGQ Bandit top quilt. This quilt is incredible. It's highly rich in features, super low weight, and I have a full video review of this that I will tag in the cards up above so you can go watch the full review. Now, this bag weighs 25 ounces and is 850 fill down. I have a draft collar that can tighten around the top to block out any wind from the top. I have a zippered foot box that can be tensioned like this in order to give me more of that sleeping bag foot box feel, but it can also be unzipped into a full-fledged quilt. Now, specifically why I chose this quilt was for the degree rating, which is 20. The company, super reputable, and I love quilts. The reason I love quilts is because I can treat it like a sleeping bag and tension all of it around me, or I can treat it like a quilt. So during the summer, when I'm hot, I can kick my feet out, I can open up like a blanket. In the fall and winter when I'm freezing, I can close up the foot box, I can tension down this around me, and I can sleep like a baby. Another feature that I chose on mine is to go with extra width, and I did a 55-inch width so that when I turn, my sleeping quilt still covers me. Let me demonstrate. I'm gonna turn, and it's still long enough to cover me in the back. Just look at me. I'm like the freaking Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. I got rolls. Next, we're gonna cover the third item of my big four, my sleeping pad. The sleeping pad that I chose is the Nemo Tensor regular wide insulated sleeping pad. The reason that I went with this pad was, yes, I watched every review video on YouTube, but I got it and I tried it for myself. Pro tip, try gear before you take it into the backcountry. Set up your tent, sleep in your sleeping bag, try a night on your pad in your house to determine if that gear's right for you before it's too late and you can't return it anymore. This pad is 25 inches wide by 72 inches long. Now, most people I think are going with the 20-inch wide pad. Please add the extra 5 inches and enjoy your sleep more. I know that people can sleep fine on a 20-inch pad, but you can sleep better on a 25-inch pad. This pad is 3 inches thick and is made with a 20 denier fabric. I've never had any problems. I've laid out on the rocks. I've laid out just to test it, not to sleep, but I've laid it out and I've put it through a good test, and this pad is gonna last. The regular wide version of this pad comes in at 19 ounces, which for a wide pad is awesome. Regular version of this pad is 15 ounces, which is only 3 ounces more than the glorious X-Lite from Thermarest. Just go with the 25-inch and thank me later. Now, Nemo claims that this pad will keep you warm from 10 to 20 degrees Fahrenheit. I've never gotten it down that low, but I can tell you that in the 30s, I was toasty warm. The fourth and final item to my big four is my backpack. I chose to go with the Hyperlite Mountain Gear Junction 3400 pack. This pack has blown my mind. You get past the price tag and you just think about, is this gear functional? Is it lightweight? Is it from a good company? Will this make me happy? If the answer is yes, you might want to consider investing in it. If you're gonna do it long term, you're gonna start to realize that you want to invest more in the items that matter most. Let's talk about some of the external features of this pack. This is a Dyneema pack, has solid Dyneema side pocket, mesh front pocket. The reason I went with this is because when I'm bushwhacking, I'm out there walking through trees, walking through dirt, walking through bushes and weeds and stuff. This will be protected from snagging. This being on the back allows you to put any wet gear to dry out well. Some of the more external features, which stock this pack does not come with the shoulder pouch, but I do recommend getting this separately. You have a very solid sternum strap and you have a hefty hip belt with huge side pockets. These are newly updated and are bigger than the previous model. The reason I went with the 3400 versus the 2400 is because of this right here. This is usually where I pack my gear at. This is the level that I have. But if it's necessary, I have all this extra space that I can pack extra food, extra gear from bringing my kiddos or my wife. If I need a bear canister, there's extra room. A lot of people will choose to go with the 2400, which is awesome. But at just a couple ounces more, the 3400 worked out better for me in those cases that I do need the extra space. Stock, this pack comes in at 34 ounces. With all the accessories that I have on it, it's about 36 to 37 ounces. I include the shoulder pocket, and I also carry Hyperlite Mountain Gear's Versa fanny pack that comes across and will feed through this system. And then I have an additional pocket right here. It also has straps to be a fanny pack. That's one thing that I love about my Hyperlite pack. There are some accessory items that you can add to this that make the world of difference. Now guys, those are my big four items. The Big Agnes copper spur tent, the UGQ bandit top quilt, the Nemo tensor insulated regular wide pad with the Hyperlite Mountain Gear Junction 3400. Man, that's a mouthful. This is the gear that I have come up with that works for me. Find what gear works for you. Take all of these reviews with a grain of salt and realize that until you experience it for yourself, you haven't experienced it. If you found any value in this video, please smash the like button. Please subscribe for more videos just like this. We'll see you on the next one. Thanks for stopping by, guys.